Hello, welcome back to my channel. So for those of you who are new, my name is Danielle. I am the creator of Messy Heart Crazy Life. So today's video is going to be an update on my COVID experience, my family's COVID experience. So I will link my original COVID experience down below. I just kind of took you guys through what kind of our experience was, what were the symptoms, what were the side effects, all that stuff, and kind of a timeline through it. Because I felt like it was really helpful to hear somebody who's actually been through it, that kind of their experience, and just kind of give you some information. I feel like it's running rampant now. Everybody I know has come in contact with at least one person that has had it. So I know that the scariness is because it's coming closer to home. How is it going to affect me? What are some of the symptoms? What did other people do? In that video, I did not give any recommendations. I definitely encourage you to reach out to your doctor if you do get COVID. The biggest thing for me, the only recommendations that I really would give is to rest up. You don't know how it's going to hit you. And to be honest, it kind of hit my family harder than I thought, or at least me and my husband. I thought that I was gonna be one of those that didn't get any symptoms or was gonna be really mild because I don't get sick often. And though my symptoms were super mild, I didn't have any complications, I still got sick. And so that was still kind of a bummer because I was like, oh, I thought I was going to be one of those ones that were asymptomatic, and that was not the case. So I wanted to give you guys a 2-month update. It's been 2 months since we were diagnosed with COVID. So wanted to kind of give you an update because I know one of the things that people talk about is how long the symptoms really last, and that people are having all these complications. Again, I am not saying this is just my experience. This is just my family's experience. So I'm not saying that this is what you are going to have, or these are the symptoms or complications or anything like that, but just wanted to give you insight into somebody who's actually had it, because sometimes, knowledge is power, information is key, and sometimes it can help make it less scary, I guess, because I think that's one of the things when I talk to people and I tell them I had COVID, they're like, well, how bad was it? What was the worst symptom? And I said, honestly, the worst symptom was the anxiety. The anxiety of, am I going to be one of those people that have complications? Am I going to have to be on a ventilator? How is this going to affect me? It was the anxiety of the unknown. And looking back, I'm like, oh, it really wasn't that bad. I was just scared. And so that is why I want to do this video, and these 2 videos, to kind of help give you an idea that there are people who have made it through. There are people that have recovered. And I'm not discrediting anything. I'm not saying that it's not scary, that there are people with complications. I know that to be true, but sometimes it helps to just hear from a different perspective. And so hopefully this video helps to educate you and helps kind of lessen some of your fears or anxiety about it. So it has been a month. Over this past month, I have gone back to the gym. Here in Texas, things are pretty much open. My gym is only at 50% capacity. It's still a pretty decent amount of people. My husband and I have continued to go out to eat. I send my kids to school every single day. They go to public school and they are in person. There is no hybrid learning. They don't do a couple days in the class or whatever. They go to school full time as if normal. They wear their mask all day, but they take their mask off when they eat, and they're stuck in the cafeteria and stuff. That is a risk that my husband and I were willing to take. That is why when we got COVID, we were not surprised by it, because we knew it was a very, very high probability that we would come in contact with somebody or that we would contract it. So it wasn't like, oh, I wonder how this happened. We made an educated decision. We worked with my children's pediatrician, and the pediatrician was like, your kids are in middle school. It is the most awkward stage. They're growing. Everything's confusing. They're going from a child into adults, and all this stuff is happening, and social interaction is so, so, so important for the kids. And my pediatrician was more worried about mental health than he was about COVID. And with good reason. My kids were resilient. I won't bore you with the details. I'll let you listen to the other video. But as of 2 months later, my kids have not had any lingering side effects. They are 100%. They have continued going to school after the quarantine was over, and they continue to wear their mask and all that stuff. My husband does not have any lingering symptoms. He Took a little bit longer than I did to recover. His fatigue was a lot worse than mine. I feel like I got all the symptoms, but that the ones that are lingering still to this day are very, very minor. The only two things that I have that are kind of lingering is I still have yet to get my sense of smell back. It has been almost 2 months because I lost my sense of smell a couple days after I had my fever. So it has almost been 2 months since I have lost my sense of smell. It has not come back at all. I do not smell anything. Nothing at all. Nothing sweet, nothing sour, nothing burning. I smell nothing. I can taste stuff. My taste did come back right after Christmas. So about a month after I was diagnosed, it came back. Thank God. Because at first I thought it was a great thing because I was like, oh, I can't taste anything, so I'll just eat, healthy food that doesn't really taste anything because then it's healthy and maybe I'll lose weight. And I did lose a lot of weight or not a lot, but I lost some weight because of my loss of appetite. That has since come back. Thanks. But luckily my sense of taste did come back because I got to the point where I was craving something, and because I couldn't taste anything, I was just eating everything, trying to fulfill that craving. So it did come back. And since then I have been eating like crazy because I'm like, I can taste again. So all the weight that I did lose from COVID from my loss of appetite, has come back. Very unfortunate, but I can taste, it's weird. My taste buds, I can tell, are not as strong as they used to be. There are certain things like I can't taste, especially bland stuff. Eggs, I really can't taste, and eggs really don't have a taste to them to begin with, but it literally tastes like rubber to me. There's absolutely no taste at all. So I've added some seasoning. I've found that black pepper is really good. Never was a black pepper fan, but I've been putting it on everything because I feel like it enhances the stuff. And then also salting stuff like normal. So taste is still kind of in and out, kind of wonky or whatever. I've noticed that there are certain things that I liked previous to COVID that I no longer like cottage cheese. It tastes like sour milk to me. And I thought it was going bad, so I bought another one. And I thought that one was going bad, so I bought a different brand. And that one tastes like sour milk. And I realized that I guess my taste buds has changed. I used to love cottage cheese. I could eat it plain or with peaches or whatever. And since then, it tastes like curdled milk. And so, yeah, that's nice. The other thing, there was something that I came across that I was like, I didn't like this before, and now I like it. So what I've decided to do is kind of do a little experiment and kind of go through some of the foods, because there's not a lot of foods that I don't like, but like seaweed. I've always wanted to eat seaweed. I don't know why. Maybe because there's iodine in it and it's supposed to be really, really good for you. But I've never liked seaweed. So I'm going to go out and buy seaweed because maybe I'll like it now. I don't know. Cottage cheese is the only thing that I've really come across that I'm like, no. There's a couple other things that I'm like, whatever. Like I can notice a little bit of difference. Like I didn't like them as much, or I don't like them as much now as I did before, but it's not bad. But my sense of smell, there's nothing. There's no indication. I talked to my doctor who, checked in on me to see how everything was going. And I said, yep, the only thing that I really have left is the loss of smell. And she said it could be months. So it's not horrible. It's not a sense that I miss that much. I've noticed that I have to time stuff. Like if I'm cooking, normally I would walk away and I come back because I could like kind of smell it, cooking or whatever, specifically bacon. Like I didn't realize that I never used timers before. I just went by my sense of nose or my sense of smell. I could smell the bacon. And so that gave me a cue or a clue that I need to go check it. Because I don't smell it anymore, I have to actually put timers on everything, which isn't horrible. It's just it is what it is. So that is that. The only other lingering effect that I have is I still do have a cough. Again, my doctor said it could take months. It is not in my chest. It's literally kind of in my throat. And I mostly have it in the morning. Especially, I try to not schedule my meetings in the morning because my voice kind of goes in and out. I've noticed that a lot more. I thought that it was just allergies, but it's consistent. And it's something that I've noticed since having COVID. Previous to COVID, my voice wasn't doing that. Like once in a while if my allergies got bad, I know I'm going into the season like in March. February, March, and April are usually my worst allergy months. So it could be because we've had a mild winter that, and like today it's like in the 60s or whatever here in Texas and Dallas. It could be that things are blooming sooner than they normally do, and it could be just a symptom or a side effect of my allergies. I don't know. That is the only thing that's absolutely lingering. Other than that, everybody has recovered. I've gone to the gym. I don't feel winded or out of breath. I don't feel fatigued or anything like that. I do feel out of shape because I haven't really exercised. You know, I went a whole month without exercising. So the first time going back, it was like I could feel it, not from the COVID, but from any time. If you're, you know, exercising and then you take a month off, when you go back, you're not going to be at where you were before. Your body kind of like, it's crazy how long it takes you to build up your stamina. And then all of a sudden it's like 2 days and you're like back to day one or whatever. I mean, it's just crazy how your body just doesn't hold on to that. Since then, I've been fine. I've been able to work myself up to somewhat where I was before, but it definitely, I don't think it's a side effect from COVID. I think it's just building up my stamina, and that would happen regardless. Even if I just took 2 months off or a month off or whatever, it still would have been the same thing. So I don't feel like I breathe heavy or anything like that. I don't feel any of the shortness of breath. I feel normal. My energy level has come back. It's been back for a while. Yeah, so 2 months after, we are doing well. I'm living on my antibodies. That's awesome. I mean, we've gone out to dinner, but it's not, has been as frequent or whatever. I've not been in the office since I've gotten sick. We've been spending a lot more time outdoors, doing outdoors things and not so much inside. Not because I'm necessarily worried about getting sick again, because of like scared, like my fear of having a complication has gone away, because I'm like, if I get it again, the chances, my body will have a greater chance of fighting it because I do have the antibodies or those antibodies or whatever, but it's more of, I just don't want to get sick again. I don't want to have to be run down. I don't want to have to take time off of work. I don't want to have to have my house go to complete chaos and have to clean it up or whatever. And because it happened right around the holidays and then we had our in-laws come in or whatever, it's just a kind of a crazy time. So I just don't want to get sick in general again, but I'm not as fearful or anxious. And I think if I were to get it again, I wouldn't have as much anxiety as I did the first time, because I know I know that the side effects weren't that bad and that my body could fight it off. So that is it. That is the quick update. I just wanted to, again, kind of update you guys. So as you know, we kind of go through this pandemic or whatever, hopefully give you some information. I know there's new strands out there. God help us. That's all I can say. I'm just so over. I'm over COVID. I'm over this sickness. I'm over wearing masks. I'm over, I just want things to go back to somewhat normal life or whatever. And I know I am not the only person in that boat. So hopefully you guys are doing well. Be safe. Let me know if you have any questions. Until next time, bye.